Hey guys, it is Rachel Feldman. How are we doing? It is so awesome to be with you. I'm so excited for this after launch party. I did this because a lot of people always ask me how I have successfully built my business, how I use done for you programs, how I brand myself, how I've done social media, how I've done, you name it. People have asked me, and I'm always like, well, it's easy, let me tell you. And it wasn't easy necessarily figuring it out. It's that it's easy now because I have a system. And don't get me wrong, I was just actually saying to a coach today, I was like, the great pleasure of being a coach is that, our niche does change. I don't think I came out of school, even though they were like, do your niche exercise. I didn't come out of school knowing my niche. I came out of school knowing my story. And that was really helpful because I didn't have a fancy website. Didn't have that at all. And I knew that I needed to get my message out there to people. And I knew that I had no idea what the hell a niche even meant. But I knew if I got clear on my story and how I could work with people, that my business would start to be built. So I want to get very clear first. I'll introduce myself. The short version, of course, because many of you know that I don't have a lack of words. This is me, of course. My name is Rachel Feldman. I am a health coach. I'm the creator of the Done For You programs. What I really do on a daily basis is I help other coaches worldwide to create really awesome businesses that work for them, that save them time because they actually have a system, profitable, sustainable businesses. And for me, similar to many of the coaches that I get to speak with or work with, they are coaching, they have passion, but they may not be making money, or it doesn't sustain. It's like the one-hit wonder. They had a month where they got a few clients, they had one program that sold, but they weren't able to sustain that. They didn't have the health histories. They don't have the opt-in freebies. They don't have the consistency that keeps people to come back and become what everyone calls raving fans. So we're going to even just start out. Like I said, this is me. Many of you know, let me just put this down. Many of you know my story. If you don't, I'll keep it brief. I decided to leave commercial real estate. It was a big decision in my life. I loved what I did. I've always done jobs that I love doing because I felt like if I didn't, I would rather not exist. And many of you know I am a pretty passionate kind of person, and I needed that in my life. And I need that in every area of my life. The people I hang with, the people I work with, what I do, passion needs to be everywhere or I feel lifeless. And that was something that I knew very early on in my life. So I left commercial real estate after having my second baby. My first, his name is Max. My second, his name is Sammy. I left commercial real estate and said, okay, I'm going to go and, go into like Reiki school, and I'm going to do some things for myself. I think I even took like a sculpting class, which was crazy, but I wanted to do it. I wanted to learn. And then I said to my husband when we were living at the beach one summer, and he had a great business, very profitable business. I said to him, honey, you know what? I'm going to go to school and become a health coach. I had made that phone call, I think it was like 7 years earlier, because an acupuncturist who I was seeing had said, you know what, Rach, like you are dealing with your own health issues. You talk so much about this mind, body, and spirit. Like, check this place out. You really love it. And I literally ran out of her office and I picked up the phone and I was like, hey, tell me about your school. And they were like, it costs this much, and this is the commitment that it would be. And I was like, you know what? I have so many health bills right now. I'm, in my commercial real estate career, and it was just booming. And I was like, I will call you when I'm able to do this. So when I had that like deep gut feeling that I knew that I had to be a health coach, was that day that I said to the hubby, like, do you think I can do this? He was like, I think you can do anything you put your mind to. Fast forward, I entered school. That day I called, entered school. And so that was like in June. So I started in September, and in March, my husband turned to me and said that, you know, we had lost all our savings in the crash of the stock market. And his business wasn't in the stock market, but it was in something very similar. And all our savings were invested in our own business, except we bought our house. Thank God. So that's me. I think, even if I look, I don't know if I think that's Sammy, because no, that's Max actually. So this was our house. We luckily had invested. We spent the money to pay off our mortgage, everything. And so I didn't go to graduation from my school in New York in September. Instead, we sold our house. We knew we had to. We moved to Florida. We arrived in Florida like the beginning of August, into a place where I knew nobody. I had no idea, to be honest. I built an amazing 6-figure business in commercial real estate in a small amount of time because people trusted me. They knew I wouldn't screw them over. I kept my word. I also was in a male-dominated business, and I was easy to deal with compared to some of these guys who had like these huge narcissistic egos. And I had, you know, I don't know. It's not that I wasn't lucky. I worked hard. I, you know, constantly was on the phone calling prospects and writing proposals for them. But I built that business. But the same systems were not applicable, and nor was my contact list. I wasn't bringing over my contact list of real estate necessarily to a health coaching. And so when I moved, I had all this passion and knowledge, but I had no idea what the hell to do with it. I was given all these different handouts, which actually confused me a little more because I was like, when do I give this? What am I giving? And my clients who were coming to me in the age of the internet were reading books by Mark Hyman. They were watching Dr. Oz. They were, you know, they were informed people. And I think, you know, most people these days are. So just to show you even, because it's too cute, I can't even stand it. These are my little babies. That's Max right here, and that is Sammy. And that's, you know, our old house and stuff. And like I said, year one sucked. And I even said to my husband, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. And if you're on this phone call and you're making this right now, you shouldn't be making that. Because that was my year one, and it was bad. We still had savings left over. We bought a new house, which we live in now, got a mortgage, and we had savings. So I still wasn't I wasn't feeling the holy crap. But I also wanted to make money doing something I loved. I just invested all this money into school, and I wanted to really help people. One, I wasn't charging my worth, but two, I wasn't charging my worth because I didn't also have confidence. I mean, that was the bottom line. I felt like I didn't have this system of what I was delivering. Year two, I made 27,000. People in my area got to know me. Why? And I talked about this the other day when we kicked off the Done For You programs. People got to know in the area that I was living, and also nationally and worldwide, what I specialized in, because I started doing videos. I knew with 2 kids, really young, couldn't just go to all these networking events, and I didn't know anyone to even network with. So I started shooting YouTube videos, and that was how people found me. But what happened in year 2 3/4, because I was seeing a lot of people who were coming to my office, is that I realized a lot of them were coming for all the same reasons. A lot of them were coming for reasons that were out of the scope of what I was even comfortable working with. But I knew one thing that I could work on, which was lifestyle changes, working with people with a system that I worked in my own life, teaching people the most basics of, like, you know, tongue scraping and you know, talking about reading labels and going gluten-free, and like all the things that people were asking me. I was like reinventing the wheel constantly with session notes. And so my nights were filled with clients, my days were filled with clients. I was even being asked to work at like local gyms. It was like crazy. But then I decided to create a system. And that was what happened in year 2 and 3/4. And I sold my first detox to clients online. And I realized, wow, I never want to give up my one-to-one coaching because I felt such a connection. For me, that's so important. My one-on-one business, people always think I'm just an online coach, but my one-on-one business is really where I feel a happy home, and that like connection. I've worked with, whole entire families, from like the little kids to the grandparents. And that's what fills my soul. So some of you coaches, even tonight, I want you to ask yourself, are you an online coach? Are you an offline? Do you like being in groups, live? Like, what really serves you, and also what serves your life? Because a lot of coaches I talk to have to break into the online because they've got kids at home. They're working a 9 to 5, a 9 to 12. So it's really important to figure out what is important to you as a coach and how to get there, because everything's attainable. It's just whether you have the right mindset, the right tools, and whether you have the support behind you to actually like propel you there. Because we're only as good as the people who are around. So that is, like I said, when my business blossomed. The thing also about me is, I've been macrobiotic, vegetarian, vegan, 90-10, 80-20, ketogenic, paleo. I've been everything, and now I don't really say that I'm one specific thing. I just, what happened in my business is I realized that if I really empowered and educated people with the very tools that I implemented in my own life, with my own health, that was the system that I was teaching. But I needed to have content, and I needed to have programs to get that trust factor with people. I needed to have blogs, I needed to have content, I needed to have programs. And what I found, and I said this to another coach the other day, is somebody would sign up for a program or work with me and do a program one-on-one. We wouldn't even really focus necessarily on the program. We would maybe focus on like one part of it, but it would open the door to that client trusting me because they felt like they had a plan. Just like you want to have a plan as a coach. If I say to you, okay, yes, I want you to go to your Facebook business page. I want you to post, schedule your post at 8 o'clock in the morning, 11:30, before lunch, 3:30. And I want you to do one at, 9:30 and one at 2 in the morning. That is a schedule for you. That all of a sudden you're like, whew, I've got a schedule. Thank God, Rach. So if I say to you, okay, I want you to go to Buffer or Hootsuite, pick one, all of a sudden you know what to go to. If I say to you, I want you to go to your Facebook business page and I want you to connect it to an opt-in freebie so you can start to build your list and start to build that trust factor. And I want you to have one follow-up email to that person when they opt in, and then 7 days later. You're like, oh, okay, so that's how you do it, Rach. So I didn't know all of that. I didn't know all of those systems. These are systems I learned. I didn't, go to a business school. I didn't go to school for branding or copywriting or anything. It's just what you have to learn and what you have to do to have a successful business, and one where you're building authority. So, I get to, and this is actually one of the moms that I worked with, her son. I got to work in collaboration. I get to do this often with amazing doctors, with amazing acupuncturists, with, amazing people doing EMDR, or like all this really cool stuff when you have programs and visibility, so that all of a sudden you get to say, oh yeah, let's all work together. And this was actually a doctor that I worked with. She got to take care of all that stuff. I got to work on like the stuff that coaches get to work on. And then I get to have these cool ass, testimonials like this. Okay, so now we are going to go to live Q&A. All right, so this is your chance, my friends, after I just gabbed away, to ask me anything, because the one thing that I know is I talk to too many coaches who have bought either my program, other programs, taken courses, done all this stuff, and they're not making money. So if you have a question, just pop it right into the question box, and I'm going to literally answer it right for you. Any takers? Can you pop it into the box? Okay, perfect. And I am going to literally take these questions just to make it easy. I'm going to, okay, so somebody's saying, do you need a website to have all this amazing content? So let me just pop this right down here. Do you need a website? Let me take these questions up here for all this content. That is a great question, Elaine, and thanks for being here. I totally adore you, your message and your mission and your vibe, and you know that. So just want to say a little peace and a little hustle. Okay, so that's, you know, in the beginning, and I say this all the time, and I'll even just take notes. I had a shitty website, bottom line. It was a home though. I work with a lot of coaches one-on-one where they're like, I want, you know, to get my message out there. I want this. I'm like, but you do need a home. So I'm not saying you need to have like $1,000 website, but, you know, Weebly is free. Wix, I mean, those are beautiful template websites. I mean, I could even make a website. I've done this with a client in 15 minutes. So if you have, you know, the copy from the school that you went to on a site, and I actually just told a client today, I said, can you take down the copy from that site? We're going to put it onto like a Weebly site so we can play around with your message, get it there, but it gives you a home. You don't necessarily need to have it if you feel like you don't know what to do or what you want to say, but I do believe that it gives us focus. I do believe that when we are trying to sell programs, yes, we need a sales page. Or you can have Eventbrite. And I sold my first event, right? I sold my first 3 detoxes totally off of Eventbrite because I couldn't even figure out how to get PayPal together. I had no idea how to hyperlink. I mean, when I tell you, like, it was a hot mess. I mean, hot mess. So I sold my first detoxes off of Eventbrite and made it look nice. I added in my info, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like, you can make things look nice. There are so many free tools these days. But, you know, I do believe that if you can take the time to sit there and just get what I believe is a home about me, work with me, and these could be like your programs, or it could say like online programs. And many of you do workshops. You know, if you want to do, don't put blog there if you're not going to blog. Then contact me. And keep it that simple. And if any of you went to the school I attended, you have that copy. So all you have to do is take that copy and put that in. And if you don't have that copy, take the time to just say, you know what, I'm going to commit to 30 minutes a day to like write my homepage, even if it's not like phenomenal. I rewrote, my husband would always laugh because I'd be like, honey, come here, come here and read this. And he was like, what am I reading? I'm like, I rewrote my About Me. And like, I just rewrote it so many times. I mean, I spent so much time. And I think that's what I think that's what a lot of coaches who have successful coaching practices, we hear a lot like, make 5,000 doing this system and make 7 figures doing this. But nobody says, here, you want to make 6 figures? You're going to have to fucking work a lot. Like, That is the honest truth. And it doesn't mean that you have to give up your self-care. It doesn't mean you have to give up like your weekends or give up anything, but it does mean that you're going to have to put in some work and dig deep. And what I would suggest for anybody, you know, a lot of us have very talented friends. Actually, some of my family members, I didn't have anybody write the original copy, and I have dyslexia and learning issues. And so the original people who went through my site copy were my family members. So if you just say to a family member or somebody that you know who writes well, say, you know what, I will trade you a service. I will trade you something. I will gift you something. Can you just help me? I'm telling you, you have people who will support you. But these are free. Weebly, also Wix, and Squarespace. I mean, that's another one that is awesome. When I was teaching, maybe I should have glasses on. I always say this and laugh. I'm the worst speller. Thank God for Grammarly, and thank God for you know, spelling check. Squarespace is another one. I actually taught a class 3 months ago, like live in front of 100 people. And I actually showed in the class, like in 20 minutes, I created a Squarespace website. The same thing. I've done this with a client, creating a Weebly site with them. I've done this with a client, creating a Wix site with them. So it's not difficult. And there are people, you know, there are people who create basic sites, but I always say before you even do that, because I made that mistake too. I was like, I'm going to get off my site. I'm going to get to a WordPress site. I did it too early. I didn't have the copy down. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know the look that I wanted. And I wish I would have done this exercise, which was to really get clear on like what I wanted vision-wise before I stepped into that. So that was a great question, Elaine. If I need quick money, what's the best thing to do? Oh, I love quick money questions. Quick money. What do I do? And this is something that I always say to Michelle, who works with me. I'm like, for me, the hustle is not about like deprivation of my life and sacrifice. For me, the hustle is, oh, wow, you know, Sammy had to go to the ER because her eye got hooked with a fish hook. And that bill from the ER cost me $1,400 because in Florida we have horrible health insurance. Sorry, Florida. But that I was like, okay, the hustle for me is going to be about paying off that bill. And so when I look at quick money, I think of like cooking classes, because a lot of people, and this is where I love with the programs, like a lot of people are like, oh, $99 for a program. But if you say to them, I want you to come over for 2 hours and you get to see me cook, like in my home, and taste stuff, and I give you a program, people are like, oh, wow, I'll spend, you know, that 47 or 50. So let's even do the math, because I always have Cutie Susie here. She's my calculator. So if that's $50, let's just say we do 20 people. We just made $1,000. So, you know, if it's $47, now again, you're getting them is, okay, so this is what I always ask people. Like, do you want to charge your worth? Of course. But often to build that authority, we have to get people in the door. That's why you see many people like Ryan Dice, who wrote digital, wait, what is it called? Yeah. I think it's digital marketing. I have the books over there. He always talks about, you know, like, and he even does it. He'll sell like that lead magnet program for like $1. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to sign up for $1 where it's like $19 or $27. I'm like, yeah, sign me up for $20. But then you have me on your email list, and then you're building trust. And I've fallen in love with him because he's got great marketing. He's personable. I've even tagged him on his Facebook page. He's even answered. So when you start to think about like, what can I do? Like, shopping tours are also really cool. So you do a shopping tour, and I did this shopping tour with program. And again, you could charge like, want to say 37 or 47. I always think when we're talking quick money, think about like, what do people really need? And, this is when you can say to everyone, like, and quick money happens because also we get excited about something. Like you post on Facebook and you say, oh my God, I can't believe this. I just put out this like sick program that I X, and I am literally going to host this exclusive like Facebook forum for like 30 days. And you and your hubby or you and a friend can come, and maybe you charge the program for like, $77 for like, bring a friend. So again, like, it's just when you sit there and say, what do I need to actually make and what do I do? Because I'll tell you, if you have people that are happy, they're always going to come back. And so does that answer it kind of, Sherilyn? That was a great question. So somebody's asking, what is a great place to start booking one-on-one clients? So one-on-one clients. How to book. One-on-one clients, the biggest thing I will say, honestly, are health histories. I mean, I know it's like exhausting, but then you're like, okay, Rachel, where do I get the health history? This goes back to what I always say with the consistency, and that's why like the programs worked great for me. It's also why, of course, I created them, is that you need to blog. You need to have that consistent social media. You need to be out there. And I've worked with coaches, one-on-one or in the forums that we have, the mastermind forum, where all of a sudden they'll have programs, they'll start to put themselves out there in a different way. Videos, Facebook, blogs, people will see that they have a program on their site. Doesn't mean you have to like offer 5. That doesn't create authority or visibility. Sometimes that creates confusion. You want to be very, thoughtful on like, what am I putting out to the world and what are they getting, especially when they sign up at my site. So opt-in freebies are a great place to start with. Hosting, going to local events. I know that one-on-one clients, like I went in the beginning and put flyers everywhere. I even went into natural health food stores and anywhere, even though it was so scary for me to go in and like, I had a crappy business card because I'm such not the design kind of crafty person. But I handed out my business card to everyone. I would go into Whole Foods. I would look for people that looked confused, checking out probiotics. And I would say, here, I specialize in digestive wellness. This is my story. If you ever want to contact me, I've had people who have literally contacted me from that. I think also how to book is think about the people that you work with. Like, do you go to an acupuncturist? Do you go to a doctor that really believes in what you do? Do you work with people in your own life that can, send you referrals? That's one great place. Second, like I said, is to, be visible. I think, I go onto so many coaches' sites and I stalk like all the different people who sign up for, the Done For You programs and of course my own clients. And I wouldn't even go to their site and know that they were a health coach unless I was like really digging. And so, Facebook has really changed. Like business pages don't show up really unless you're like paying Facebook. So you really want to think about like that online presence for visibility. Change out your banner, offer, build your list, and then send out, a newsletter that says, hey guys, I'm doing 15-minute Saturdays or free session Saturday. And then book free sessions. Know how much you need how many people you need to sign up as a health history. and what the conversion rate typically is for you. So if I know that I'm not launching programs and there's a downtime, I know that that month has to be higher with my one-on-one clients. And so that means that I have to offer those kind of, hey, reply back if you're feeling stuck in my newsletters. So if you're at that infancy level where you don't even have a list, that's the biggest focus. Get clear on the niche, get clear on where you're building your list. You know, again, that's why, you know, free challenges and you know, programs and opt-in freebies and all of that, I believe takes people. And I did a lot of my programs just one-on-one, but I would blog, I would do videos, and people would find me on the internet. And, you know, I think that's the biggest thing that you want to make sure is that you're visible. And if I didn't answer that, please let me know. Jennifer saying, I was be finishing IN in December, but can start taking clients mid-August. What are the 2 things you would recommend to do to start other than to buy a couple of my programs? That's, you're so cute. Number 1, I would say, okay, what to do. What to do when you start. So I actually have a few. This might even, and people ask me this a lot, become an LLC. And no, I'm not like a lawyer or anything. These are the things just for protection. Get an LLC, get a bank account, account with your LLC. We never want to commingle. That I know from real estate. And then also for your business. And this is something I made the mistake doing, and I have to go, God, I can't even spell tonight, and I have to go back and fix. One is have everything cohesive. So if, for example, if your business name is, you know, let's just say my business name is Rachel's Wellness, make sure that your Twitter is Rachel's Wellness. Make sure Instagram's Rachel's Wellness. Make sure that everything is cohesive with that one name. So I would say, like, decide on business name. Buy the domain name. And of course, you know, as I said, register the LLC. I would say also start a business Facebook page. And, you know, the cool thing, and I wish I would have done this, and I to be honest, I was really scared. Many people know me, and I talk about this a lot. Like, there's some people that just don't have that chatter. God bless them. God did not make me that way. I get a lot of chatter in my head. And so when I first, you know, got out of school, I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm out of school. Here I'm launching. I was nervous. I was, as I said, I didn't feel confident. I was confident of what I knew. I was confident of the journey that I went on as my own health journey. But I encourage, and I tell all of my clients, like, oh my God, we have such an amazing opportunity. And I've seen coaches do this even in school or when they first get out, to get that Facebook business page, get organized with that, and start to look at your social media and message. So if you're in school right now, Jennifer, like, really, you can even start to create videos right now, keep them unlisted in YouTube. So that when you're at that midway August, all of a sudden you have all this content that you've collected. You're clear on your niche. You know what you want to offer. So it's like, either build a website. I think you get your website, if I'm correct, at that mid time. But get clear on that social media and message. Like, understand, come, you know, August, what are you going to do? Reach out, and these are a few. Like, reach out to local, you know, vendors, like early August. And like, these are, you know, the events that you can do. See if you can also do, and then plan for like a launch party. And this will be fun because it will be September and everyone's coming back to school. So plan for a launch party in September. And this is even applicable to anybody on this call who just thinks like month to month when you're thinking about your business. This is strategy. This is a business. Even though you're in health coaching, it's a heart-centered business. Like this is strategic marketing, strategic social media. I know what's interesting about how I built my brand is I didn't think about it. So, a lot of how I am, even on Facebook, is not strategic in a lot of what I post. But when you're thinking about needing to make money and launching a program, that has to be strategic, because not even Mark Hyman can launch a program just 2 days before and say, hey, I'm launching a book, buy it. Everyone has to plan their business. So what I would say is plan for that launch party. Know what program you're launching. Come out and say, and this is, again, for everyone on here, like if you're launching a program this spring, know then what you're doing in the summer. Know if the summer is going to be a little downtime. Maybe that's when you want to do cooking parties and like fun stuff, because everyone loves to do fun stuff, simple, easy stuff during the summer. How are you going to sustain your health coaching business? And then everyone comes off the summer and they want their body back. So really start to think about, your business as a business and what people want. That's why I love the VIP programs, because it gives you everything that people want at different times of the year, and also in your business online and offline. But I would say, and I'll tag in to see what the questions under that, if that was answered, I would say business name, start a business Facebook page. Two things I introduced other than, so that gives you, we're in March right now. I would say you can do all of that on the back scene, because, we don't think so much about like, what do I need to do on the back scene? And then really, if you wanted to even build your site and not use the site from school, you could be doing that now. Okay, I have the 28-day, Martha's asking. Hey, Martha, I adore you, and Jennifer, and Alicia. I have the 28-day that I use a bit, not a lot. I've always done the elimination program and love it. However, I find it's a bit too much for people. So clean eating has been great. Interested in the paleo this time, first elimination. Is there a duplication, paleo versus Rockstar, and next healthy hustle, business resources? Wow, that's a lot of stuff. Okay. So for a lot of people, and I think this is where we have to know our niche. For like my clients, I always use the elimination program in my one-on-one. I'd be like, here's our guide. Let's take it step by step. Let's just breathe. These are my tools that we use. And the recipes were just awesome. And everyone's different. If you know that like your niche would be like, oh my God, okay, that's where like weight loss or paleo is really great, because it's such an easy program to apply. Paleo is one of my favorites because it's just so family friendly. It's easy to apply at a gym. It's easy to apply, for a lot of people, even for weight loss, because it's grain free. But somebody, is there a duplication? No, there's no duplication actually in any program. The only duplication with programs would be basic and Rockstar, meaning that in Rockstar you get the basic program, but paleo is a totally different program. Paleo is really about like this grain-free approach. It's really about going back to the mindset of like slowing down and being primal, and really taking a look at what are healthy fats and what is safe cooking ware, and like all the things I wanted to empower my clients with that people were always asking me about. So the programs that I wrote were really what people were always asking me for. Like the 28-day, people were always asking, for these handouts. And I was like, well, that's it. I'm just gonna create these handouts. So is there going to be a next healthy hustle? There is going to be a next healthy hustle, but it's not going to be right away. Instead, we're going to do a bunch of smaller workshops that are going to be specific focus just for like copywriting, the work with me, website, sales pages, very focused. And then we will be rebirthing the Healthy Hustle in a totally different format. But the paleo program is amazing. And what I love about the paleo program, for me, is that I was getting so many clients who were coming to me with congested livers. And what does a congested liver look like? Well, it's spring. And in spring, we were about to detox the liver and the gallbladder. And so people were coming to me and they were saying, I'm doing the paleo program, and this is when paleo first came out. And there's a part of me that feels great being off of grains, but I'm gaining all this weight. I don't feel good. I have pains in my neck. And like this right here, the top of your neck in Chinese medicine, these are your gallbladder meridians, liver meridians. And so I was like trying to pull recipes off of different sites and like take out bacon fat and exchange all these things. I just found it to be exhausting. And I thought, what if I wrote a program that was really about going back to a slower state, and what is that grain-free approach? Not so much this paleo, like eat fat, eat this, but what are those healthy fats and how to empower people? So I love that program. I think that it's so easy to launch, and it's so easy to launch also in your one-on-one. And I think that it's also a great program to approach gyms, CrossFit. I know another coach who did that program at a CrossFit gym over and over. I know that I did that at another gym locally, that exact program. And what I've also done with the programs is I've also combined them. So I've combined like the elimination diet, elimination program with paleo, and I've just made them into longer programs. And so instead of just having like a 14-day program for a client or a 28-day, I could have a 3 or 6 month. And again, clients, they're not cookie cutter, neither are you. And no program is going to totally be exactly perfect for anybody. So we always have to tailor something, especially when we're working one-on-one with somebody, because they need that extra one-on-one attention. And if you do want to go totally online, that's why you do have to get more visible. And that's why having, a website is important, doing videos, blogging, being on social media consistently. That's why I love this girl, my phone, because I can just go onto Instagram right now if I so choose. I could literally take a picture of us. So if you see like right there, I could take a picture of us, or I could post a picture and then slap that right onto Facebook and Twitter in a hot New York second, even though it's cold right now. So for me, that consistency in that brand, especially like I said, if you want to break into the online market, is so vital for anybody. And I hear a lot of that because a lot of coaches, they are working second jobs. They need to get out of that second job, but they don't have the time for the one-on-one. So in order to break into that online market, you have to be visible, bottom line. And to be visible, you have to put yourself out there on a daily basis, and don't just say like, hey, my smoothie was great. Like really tell me why I need to work with you and hire you. Like make me fall in love with you. So you're irresistible. Naomi saying, I asked this question on a Facebook group. I purchased Revitalize yesterday. I also have Rockstar and Paleo from the winter. How would you recommend I set up my funnel and incorporate all 3? I think I answered, but if I didn't, so how do you do a sales funnel? And if I don't ever answer a question, please just retag me. Or if I wasn't clear, just retag me. Okay, so when you're setting up your sales funnel, I always think, for me, I have opt-in freebie. So that has to be 1. Opt-in freebie, then leads to gateway program. For me, that's often the cleanse. For some people, is paleo. So again, Naomi, you have to think what as a gateway program is more attractive to your clients. Or for you, it may be weight loss. which you have in Revitalize because you have 2 programs, not 4, you have 2 programs. Then leads to health history or one-on-one. Because your gateway program, again, and the reason I even created online programs is I wanted to make an affordable way to work with me. And you'll have program junkies, meaning you'll have people who just only like to work in programs. They love that like vibe of a program, and they love being in a program, like group environment with you. And then you have people who really only want to be with you one-on-one. So I would set it up where you have your opt-in or do a challenge. Pick which one you feel is right. And then you have your signature program. And this could be revitalized as a whole. So if you wanted to have the 28-day plus weight loss, that could be your signature program. And that would be a 6-week program with vegetarian, vegan, vegetarian and vegan, vegetarian options and omnivore options. And so you just have to decide what's going to be that gateway program. And that gateway program can also change, so that as you're testing it out. Also, and I said this to a client today, you can also bonus a week of paleo. So your programs don't always have to be this like finite, what they're launching. Some coaches, they launch that paleo. That is like their signature program. And so they do the cleanse plus the paleo. So that's why I think I said to you, like, really think about what's going on with your people and who they are. So when you're thinking about what programs to buy or what really needs to work for you, you're thinking about how they are applicable. Now, I also ran a month-long program, and I combined, like I said, the cleanse and the paleo, and it was a really nice program. I added all these extra handouts, opt-ins, information even about essential oils. I mean, I packed an entire program, and I sold it for like over $300, and it was a wonderful program. I included live classes with it. So, again, like you can break down your 6-week. It can be weekly classes. You can do your gateway program. You can bonus a week of paleo. The whole idea is to get them into your sales funnel. It's the whole idea. So an opt-in freebie could be a challenge. And the whole reason why you extra give content is because we're also in a community, in a world now where we have so much free content flowing. So you have to be a giver. So when you're like, oh my God, but that's giving an extra week of paleo, so what, right? Like, why not give them extra free bonuses, give them something, give them something for coming to a webinar, all that kind of stuff, because you want to set yourself apart. What about a blog? Elaine's asking, what about a blog site instead of a website? I mean, Blogger is good. It's just, you can start a blog site and totally sell off of a blog like a program. It's totally easy to do that. I've seen very successful coaches who actually have very simple pages, and they just throw a PayPal button. So if you want to start a blogger, to start, by all means, start. I think that is the biggest thing. I've seen successful coaches, even a coach I saw the other day who said, I didn't have time to learn MailChimp. I didn't have time to learn anything, so I just put it on Eventbrite. And you know what? She sold her programs. And I see other coaches who wait for that perfect moment. They spend thousands on sites, and then they end up redesigning them because it wasn't the right message. So just be a doer. So if you want to start on Blogger and then transfer it over when you get the other, start it by all means. But just start it, because at least on Blogger, you could have one page that says work with me, but I do think a site gives you a healthy home. That's the thing. So I would say a website with the blog feature is ideal. So when working with doctors, gyms, do they send your clients to your site to buy your program and then give them a fee? do I give doctors or referrals access to the content? So I do have a non-disclosure. You can definitely do that yourself, to just say that you own the rights to it. Typically what I've done, and you can do this in a 70-30 split. I talked about this the other night on the kickoff call, a 60-40 split, a 70-30 split. They are sending to your site to buy the program. Or what you can do is, say you have a list and it's their list, you can, email that program to that list. But usually the people, and I have found this, I don't like to partner with anybody I don't trust. I've been there and done that, and it's a pretty crappy experience. And, then you get weird feelings. The people that I've partnered with, I have felt like, wow, this is really cool. It's, we're a team, we're like working together. So I would say though, always have a non-disclosure. I've made the mistake of creating amazing programs for, let's just say, other facilities, and didn't say, hey, I own the rights to this. And then that was reused. And that was in, the earlier days of my business when I was just, hungry. And I'm still hungry, but hungry for it in a different way, where I wasn't like thinking out, what would this mean? So always get clear on the fact that you're the owner to it, that there's a non-compete. You can also say very upfront, like, there's a 70-30 split. I need you to do some of the marketing. I'm going to create a list of people who sign up. But what you can do to lead to that is do an event at their facility. A lot of people do want this kind of information at their facility because they're not able to do it. They're either not able to do it, they don't have the time to do it, and it's great promotion for them as well. So when you're coming to them, really say, and many of you in your programs have referral letters, and if you have a question like how I approach people or anything, just ask. But make sure non-disclosure, and that you say you own the program rights, it's yours. And if you are creating something in collaboration, that you're very clear on whose material it is and the ownership as well. Dawn's saying, I'm still working on a website. It's not live yet. I'm sure I'll figure things out with it. It is all good. Look, work on your website. I put myself, people always ask me, how do I run my business and my day? I make sure I blog at least twice a week. And when I don't, I'm like, damn right, you didn't. I make sure that I do videos and that I upload them to YouTube. And even this morning, I went into my website and refined my About Me. It will be an ongoing process. And so if you're in do mode, get into do mode. If you feel stuck, when I give homework to my one-on-one clients, I say, okay, write your About Me. And they're like, and I'm like, write it, and then you're going to send it to me, and we're going to work it out together, and we're going to write it together, and we're going to nail down the niche first. Like, there are basic things in the beginning. But also, like I said, I didn't really know my niche. I didn't have that confidence. And so when I was able to be like, oh, wow, yeah, I work with people with, digestive issues, and they need to detoxify because there's assimilation issues and there's toxicity. And I knew that from my own life. So again, like, really think about your own story and your own life. And Dawn, you'll totally get it figured out. For me, that is, and I hear even other coaches say this, that is what, the programs for them did. It just gave a focal point. But definitely work on your About Me, because your About Me is going to get people to hire you, which is so important. And always have like a little, where to find me. So important for that. Tracy's saying, I love your programs. I'm learning so much from you. Well, that's good, because I think you only bought like a day ago. So buckle your seatbelt because we have lots to do. What would you use for a 90-day transformational program? That's so funny. I actually worked for a gym where we did a 90-day transformational program. And I actually did much of what you see in the weight loss program and the paleo, and the content that I actually pulled on my weekly talks, because we did, let me just get a little comfortable here. We did weekly talks, was I pulled from that. Like, you know, I would go in and talk about making lifestyle changes. I would go and talk about, you know, like hydration and all those basic things that you see in the programs. And I would extract, and then that would be my talk, or I would even go into the PowerPoints and extract from those PowerPoints what my talks would be for that day. So for a 90-day transformational at a gym, I would keep it more, you know, gym specific. But I love the Revitalize for that reason. I feel like if you started somebody off with a cleanse, that's just what I call clean slate. Like, whether they're doing it, you know, just simple, meaning not doing all the extra, you know, detox tools, they don't have to. They can keep it really simple. Then, you know, take them into, so that would be 2 weeks. You can even extend that if you wanted to be, you know, a month. And then take them into like the Revitalize or something like that, because I think it's so beautifully laid out. You're taking somebody through mind, body, spirit. You have handouts there. You have, you know, step-by-step action plan of what to do day by day. But again, you know, if you only have one program and that's what you can afford, you know, just get creative, guys. Meaning, like, you could do some amazing, you could take your one program, repeat it, and do great, you know, teleclasses or webinars or meet face-to-face. You know, coaches, we're here to like educate and empower. And most people, you know, they have the answers within. They just need somebody to help them pull the answers out. So I hope that answered your question. No, typos are fine. How do you go about marketing sexy? That is a great question. I think when we think about marketing sexy, we have to find that inner mojo with ourselves. And I think, you know, marketing is just about using the word. So whether you want to say like, you know, thinking like subject lines, like how to find your inner sexy soul, or, you know, how to step back into, you know, your sexiness. Or, I mean, it's really just about like the very things that you're saying in your subject lines, or even the very things that you're doing in videos. So marketing and making it sexy is really even about telling your own story. So if that's part of your story, like how you found that again, or how you live that, then that's your marketing. I had one coach, she was in a mastermind like 2 seasons ago in the business boot camp, and she just oozed sexiness. Every picture of her that she took, she looked sexy. She was in a tank top. I mean, that was just her personality, and that was her marketing. She took great selfies. And there's a way to always look that, I mean, Tone It Up. The 2 women who do Tone It Up, that's a perfect example. Or Christina from Fully Raw. She's totally sexy. Or Kimberly Schneider, without needing to even be sexy. It's just the way that they take their pictures. It's the way that they market. It's just their essence and their being. So I think marketing, for me, and that's why people always say, how did you work on your brand? For me, it was just looking in my own closet. You know, the fact that I wear skinny jeans all the time. The fact that, you know, I'm typically in heels unless I'm at home, you know, in just like some kind of flip-flop. But I had to kind of look at my own kind of style, and that becomes our brand. What colors we like. I love black. I love, you know, red. I love like very hard colors. And so if you love pink and you love floral, that's kind of more your brand. Doesn't mean you can't bring sexy back. Look at Cynthia Pasquarella and her work. But I wouldn't look at her and say sexy. I would say like, oh, she's so sweet and like transformational and fun. I wouldn't look at her and say, wow, she's so sexy and I want to go get that. So really think about like what your pictures are and your message and your Instagram and everything, you know, everything about what you're putting out there and what your message is to people, and you'll have success. So Andrea said, I'm choosing which spring program to purchase right now. Last year I purchased spring programs and I've also purchased some in the fall. Are the 2016 significantly different? You know, the covers are beautiful and new. Thank you. We worked our butt off for those. I think you also said recipes are all new. Are there any other differences? So Basic and Rockstar, we do all new content. We do all new social media. So Basic, the recipes are always new. The content's always new. For me to write one guide, I lock myself in an office for 2 days and I write like 26,000 words. And that's draft one. And there are many more drafts after that. But that's just for the guide of the detox. So every season there's a new guide. There are going to be some repeats. There's only so many detox tools in the world, but I added some tonics this time. I added some really cool stuff. And there's always a different focus. Emotionally, there's always a different focus. And you'll feel that when you even read it. And also I went through some stuff even this year personally at the time that I was writing it. So it really was heartfelt on releasing and letting go. And that's why what I love about the programs is they're not just this cookie cutter, like wake up and drink water. It's really, my clients even said, wow, I feel like, somebody's really speaking to me. So everything in Basics new, everything in Rockstar is new, from the pictures taken of the recipes to the social media images to the inspirational photos to the PowerPoints, the freebies. There looks like some repeats in the sense that those are the things that we find coaches, as we survey coaches, want. But everything from like the sales page to the support sequence to the marketing emails, everything is new. Paleo, if you bought it before, that is not new. It just has new covers. Revitalize, if you bought that before, it does not have new content. It has new covers. Easy Weight Loss is a brand new program. It's a program I wanted to create for a long time because I feel like we live in such a society of like fad this, fad that, easy, quick this. And so ironically, I named it Easy Weight Loss, but it focuses a lot on that mindset, this holistic approach to like ditching the points and like stop counting the calories and stuff like that. And it's how I would teach women who just had given birth and, were needed to be nourished and loved body, mind, and soul. So that program is totally new, all new recipes. You've never seen them before. And Paleo, if you bought that before, then that would be just new covers and not new content. But if you've only ever bought the detox, then you've never seen anything else. So I would say, Andrea, when you're really thinking about what is applicable to you and what you need, really think about like your niche, think about your sales funnel, think about everything that we even talked tonight, and think what would be the best for you, Easy Weight Loss or Paleo or Revitalize. And just to answer everyone's question, the weight loss program in Revitalize is completely different than Easy Weight Loss. The weight loss program in Revitalize, that was something that I had launched at a gym and something that I had made. But the Easy Weight Loss is, I would say, a very clean and simple and easy program. Not that the weight loss one in Revitalize is not, but that's just a really full program. When I created the weight loss program in the 28-day, I also thought that it could be combined because so many people were looking for that 6-week transformational program. And I was seeing so many clients that needed to be pretty much grain-free to lose weight. That was just the case for my mother-in-law, the case for a lot of people I knew. And so those are the programs. So I would say if that doesn't answer your question, I'm more than happy to, you can shoot me an email and ask me. Okay, let me see. Somebody's asking, I want to do a cooking class, but I don't want to offer them at your home for safety reasons. Also ask a friend. I think that's there are a lot of people who don't want to bring people to their home if it's not like a bunch of women. So ask a friend. Also, local churches are awesome community centers. Many of those places will often, rent out their kitchen space, temples, even like Montessori schools, a lot of different places. So reach out into your community and see where there's a place. And like I said, there might even be a friend that just would want to host them. And you give that friend something in return. So there's so many things we can do, guys. Oh my God, Tatiana is asking, is it too late to launch a program April 1st? No, because think of it, everyone's going on spring break. So spring solstice is March 21st, but then all the kids are on spring break. You don't want to do that. And we have Easter. So no, you can even go a little past April 1st, and you can launch then again come May, because then everyone's like, oh my God, I've got to go lose weight for Memorial weekend. So start thinking strategically about your holidays. And I think I don't currently have a list, but I have a Facebook group. If you have a Facebook group, then get one of the opt-ins and start saying, hey guys, I created this cool free guide, and I want you all to I want you all to get this here, download this here, and then give them the link through your MailChimp or Aweber or MadMimi or anything like that. So somebody's saying so if my niche is women with families, would the elimination be diet? I'm looking to invest. Would the elimination be difficult? For some people, they don't feel it is. But I would say, like, if it's families, I love paleo. It's so easy. Revitalize is so easy. Women with families, one of the reasons I created Revitalize is that somebody would be like, I need a pancake for my kid. And I was like, okay, I can do that. But that's why I also put in the weight loss program, because some women with our hormones and all that kind of stuff weren't losing weight. And I was like, okay, I need to be able to flip back and forth between these two programs so that I have happy clients. But I also wanted to have recipes for their families. So it was like a win-win. Every program that you see, I really created like because my business needed it. And what ended up happening is I realized, okay, not only but do my business need, but every other health coach is going through the same stuff. So I would say working with families, I think the paleo program is really nice. I think Revitalize is really beautiful for that, to be honest, because I think as women, we don't put ourselves first ever. And so if you're really working with women, putting yourself first, our focus, self-care, taking somebody step by step in that one program is such a divine opportunity. And you can do that, online. You can do that offline, both. Does my spring program also work for the summer months too? Yeah, but we do a program for each. I've had some coaches. One coach actually said, I've been with you since winter of 2013. I was like, oh my God, I have been creating programs since the spring of 2013. So we do create a brand new, I actually just a week ago, didn't even launch yet. And I started to write the summer guide because this is our shortest season. And like I said, it takes a lot of work. It takes me writing everything, giving it off to an editor, it coming back to me, then going back to an editor, coming back to me, then going to design team. Our chef needs to be on board, then design team, web. I mean, it's everything. So we do a summer program. A lot of people come back and they buy Rockstar all the time. That's why I create a Rockstar, because for me, that list building came by having multiple opt-in freebies. And it's also how I learned what my list needed from me. Like, I got so clear on what they what they wanted and what they didn't. And I mean, I took from the paleo program 2 of the opt-in freebies, combined them and created a challenge and built my list by 595 people. So opt-in freebies are powerful and people love challenges. So if people aren't biting for your opt-in freebie or you don't have one, really think outside the box. I mean, that's what I'm saying too. That's why we have the forums. And we're going to be having coaching moderators, which I'm so excited about, coming in to help me who have had massive success. Massive success to the point that I'm seeing them doing retreats. Like, and I'm seeing, them do massive, awesome things. So, yes, to answer your question, we will have a summer. But you could, if you wanted to, turn it into a summer program. It's just, that's why I see clients come back, because they want something fresh. They want something new. They love the recipes, everything. How do you feel about letting your family do the detox for free? I think I always say, let them do it for free. I always include my family. They need it too. You want them to be. And then they'll give you, testimonials, especially if you're new. Testimonials are so important. You need those testimonials, and you want those testimonials. So in the beginning of my career, I had a great friend in Philly, and I said, can you just, it was my first detox, and it was before I launched it. I gave it to 5 friends. I was like, can you just tell me your honest truth and give me a testimonial if you feel that it aligns with you? And they all gave me testimonials. It was great. And we had a blast. So, all right. So this is what we're going to do, because we have all of tomorrow as well. I am going to answer, because we are like at an hour and 15, and I promised my kids I would kiss them tonight, because Mama was up late the other night, and I said, I will promise you that I will be done this webinar. But tomorrow night, you want to be on, also because I'm going to be giving away a fire tablet. So trust me, we'll cover everything tomorrow. Somebody says, is the tech information you get with Rockstar the same you get with Revitalize? No, it's a little different. There are some different classes. Just wondering to combine basic instead of, they're a little different. There actually weren't videos in there today, and we did add some because we want to make sure that coaches are, but I can definitely check. The ones in Spring Rockstar are different, because I know I did a bunch of new screen shares. So Mia, you can definitely email me personally to make sure that you're buying the right thing for you and making the right investment. So Tatiana is saying, is Revitalize great? I love Revitalize as a one-on-one. And I also love it for retreats. I know a bunch of coaches who do it for a longer, like 3-month program and everything. But I definitely would say that, yeah, Revitalize is a great signature program, and you could rename it. You could, anything. And yes, Tatiana is saying, like, signing up for MailChimp. Sign up for MailChimp. That's why we do the tutorials. And if you guys get stuck, I will be doing some extra classes. My whole goal, and I always say this, like, from my heart, is I don't want anybody to feel stuck. I went through the pain of, like, crying over MailChimp and everything like that, and it's just not worth it. So tomorrow we will be doing the giveaway, which means at the end of the call, you'll have a few cool instructions on what to do, on how to possibly win this. So it has been awesome to be with you guys. I will be sending you the replay. Thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.